Here's Owen interviewing the van driver of the unmarked van that brought the illegal alien and her child to this America's Best Value Inn. Owen spoke with the lady at the front desk who confirmed that there are no available rooms here because literally every single room has been reserved for illegal aliens, paid for by the Biden administration. $86 million the Biden administration has paid to ICE to secure hotel rooms all through the Rio Grande Valley so that all the migrants that have children can now be placed in these hotels and then released into the United States rather than being placed in detention centers where the news is reporting that the centers are overcrowded. So instead of deporting these people back to their home countries, the Biden administration now is literally paying hundreds of millions of dollars to secretly smuggle these people into the United States. Think about that, folks. The President of the United States has ordered U.S. Customs and U.S. Border Patrol to assist in smuggling illegal aliens into the United States of America. And they're doing it every single day. We have the video evidence. We've documented it. The illegal aliens are caught, and if they're not caught, they purposely walk up to U.S. Customs and Border Patrol with their children and turn themselves in. They're then taken to a detention center in Donna, Texas, and other detention centers all through the Rio Grande Valley, but we documented the one in Donna, Texas, because that's the one Senator Cruz visited. And they are processed through there as quickly as possible. The last step in that processing is for the Border Patrol to drive the illegal aliens and their children to the COVID testing center that they set up across the street from the Greyhound bus station in McAllen, Texas. They are dropped off there in U.S. Border Patrol vans. After that, the Border Patrol washes their hands of these people. The people are then escorted into the COVID testing tents. From there, arrangements are made for white unmarked vans that are all rental vans paid for by the U.S. government for them to sit there and pick these illegal aliens up and then transport them to the Humanitarian Respite Center. It is a Catholic Charities group. Their address is 111 South 15th Street, McAllen, Texas. Their website is catholiccharities.rgv.org. Now, the illegal aliens are then transported into white vans to that Catholic charity on South 11th Street in McAllen, Texas. There, they are provided bags of clothing, bags of food, and yellow envelopes with their plane tickets to go anywhere in the United States that they choose with their children. If their flight isn't the same day, which there's a limited amount of flights going out of McAllen, Texas, then they're brought to hotels like this, the America's Best Value Inn, which has been completely bought out by ICE with the $86 million provided by the Biden administration for that purpose. And these white unmarked vans then bring them here, and they are overnighted. Owen, you just talked to the van driver. Can you give us your perspective of what the van driver told you?
So actually, I have a lot of updates here. He was just very transparent with what's going on. This is actually even more shocking, what he just told me. So the reason why these two got pulled off into this van and taken to this hotel is because they were the two people in the group of 30 that got dropped off today that tested positive for COVID. So what they're doing is when they come in, most of the people go to the Catholic Center and stay there as long as possible until they have a flight or until they have this or the other thing. They'll stay there. And then the COVID positive people, they're the ones going to the hotels. a group out of San Antonio called Endeavors is the one that signed the contract with ICE for, he said $89 million, reports are 86. The point is, around $90 million. Endeavors signed the contract with ICE, booked up all these hotels except 2 in McAllen. And they have all the rooms, and they're being used as quarantine rooms. So this woman is going to be here for 7 days with her kid, not allowed to leave the room. They've provided her with food, they've provided her with clothes, and somebody has provided her with finances. Somebody has provided her with an ability to have a card or just cash, because once they leave, she's here, and unless she contacts this facility, she's just waiting 7 days. Now, this is all new to them, so he is still kind of unsure about what happens after the 7 days. His understanding that they'll come back, pick them up, and then facilitate their next step, whether it's a plane flight or a bus trip. So, but think about this. The other people are not being quarantined. So this whole COVID thing, and he actually admitted that part of the reason why McAllen has gone along with this is because their economy was crushed by COVID, and this whole illegal immigration thing is stimulating the economy. He told me that. And he said other people in the area know that that's the case. And so the hotels like it, the businesses like it, and everybody involved likes it because the economy was being crushed by COVID. Now they have this illegal immigration racket going on, and there's millions of dollars flowing in. And I have an audio of this interview as well. He said he doesn't want to be on camera, but he was willing to tell me everything that was going on. So this woman is going to be in here quarantined for 7 days. They have most of the hotels in McAllen booked up where they're putting these people. I saw her envelope and everything. So you have COVID positive illegal immigrants getting hotel rooms paid for by you where they're quarantining. They're not quarantining the busloads and all the other people in the center. They're all going in, they're getting shipped out on planes, on buses, and everything. So, I mean, this is just unbelievable.
So let me stop you right there. So just to be clear, so what we're looking at is you and I and Greg, we watched these busloads of illegals being brought to the COVID testing center. So this lady tested positive, she's being quarantined, but everybody else that was on the bus with her, because they didn't test positive at the same time that she's being tested, which we know there's a 2-day or more infestation period, right? Before you may show COVID positive, right? So all those people on the bus that were around her could very well now be COVID positive in the next few days, but none of them are being quarantined. No. They're just being taken to the airports and being allowed to travel in the U.S.
And he was also explaining, too, that for most of the facilities, the main one here is the Catholic Center that we showed you, but he said that, for most of the facilities in other areas, they look a lot like the Donna facility. It's just not, a temporary tent setup. It's just buildings, downtown cities, churches, and stuff like that, but it's crowded. I mean, they're stacked up in there. There's barely any room, and I mean, they could all have COVID. I mean, I don't know. They could all have COVID. They could not have COVID. They could all have COVID. But the point is, it's the biggest racket going. And so we, the people, so I'm in Leander or I'm in McAllen or I'm wherever. Oh, I have to go through all this different stuff because of COVID. Some people will make you wear a mask. Some people will make you take a test to go to work. But these people come in, and if they test positive, they get a free hotel room for 7 days. I'm guessing that's better than wherever they came from. I mean, right? And I asked him that too. I said, do you know, what's the situation that these people are coming from? And he said that they have no idea. He said they're just facilitating it. The people show up and they're just taking care of it. They don't really know what's going on.
So earlier in the video, I made this point, and I want you to tell me if you agree with this. After the last 3 days that we've been here in McAllen, Texas, looking at the facility in Donna, patrolling the Rio Grande, and then the last 2 days documenting this pipeline, is it not accurate to say that President Biden and the U.S. government are now actively engaged in illegal alien smuggling into the United States of America?
Absolutely. I think it's cut and dry. I don't think there's any question about it. And the twist, the way that they get away with it, and I mean, he was kind of admitting this. He said he's neutral. He understands why people don't like it. He understands why people do like it. He said he's kind of on the fence. But the twist is it's a humanitarian issue. We're taking care of a humanitarian issue. So that's their excuse. That's the excuse.
But at the end of the day, they're helping illegal aliens enter the United States without
110%.
documentation and flying
110%.
them to cities throughout the United States and releasing them
on our money,
on our money,
Yeah.
on taxpayer money. There's
And
no other way to look at that.
And it's not a coincidence that as soon as Biden got in, this started happening. That's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence that the contract started going out. It's not a coincidence that the wall stopped. It's not a coincidence that he said surge the border. And now you're going to have, I'm predicting, if this continues, I'll predict that on record, we'll have close to 2 million illegal immigrants in the year 2021. 2 million. If this pace continues. And as far as the world is concerned, it's an open door policy here, man. Why, if you want to get out of your country for whatever reason, come on in. That's the policy we have right now. And you'll get food, you'll get shelter, you'll get a COVID test. I mean, you'll get whatever you want, man. And you'll get an envelope with the money to take care of it. You'll get your plane ticket. You can go wherever the heck you want. So we're funding it. You, the taxpayer, are funding an invasion and a illegal immigrant racketeering operation on some local levels. Just they like it because they're making money. And then what is the political advantage to having an invasion at the southern border? Like, why would the Biden administration be promoting and facilitating this? You really have to wonder, do they want America to collapse? Do they want us to have a welfare state and an open border, which would lead to total ruin? I mean, what are we, a communist bank account for the entire world now?
Well, we know they want the votes. We know they want the votes. We know they look at this as a long-term plan of basically ensuring that they never lose another election in the United States.
And who knows when these people will be voting? They're trying to get rid of voter ID laws, so these people can be voting in the next election.
That's exactly right.
Not citizens.
It's also reported that as California is giving, is excluding white people from their free money handouts that they're now giving.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, in Oakland.
But the illegal aliens are qualified.
Well, and the Biden rescue bill or whatever it was called gave billions of dollars to farmers, but but not white. So if you were a white farmer, you didn't get any of the stimulus, but if you were not white farmer, you got stimulus money for your farm.
Well, we're going to wrap this up so that hopefully this video, we can post it on Facebook and other social media. But folks, this is the pipeline. This is the human trafficking pipeline, McAllen, Texas, paid for by the Biden administration. There's no doubt. Look on major news networks. You'll see about the $86 million contract being awarded to ICE to pay for these hotel rooms. And there's no doubt anymore. The U.S. government is now in the business of illegal alien smuggling. Because as you can see, they're trying to do this discreetly, and not a single major news network is covering that. We came down here for 3 days. We followed and exposed the entire pipeline. And if you have any doubts, contact me. I'll be glad to tell you exactly where we went, what we did. But there's other news sources out there that you can check. I'm not going to name them right now because we want this video to stay up on Facebook and to reach as many people as possible. But those of you who know Owen know where to go, and there'll be more videos and more news reports on this later today.